Parents, my name is Chuck Lear. I'm your child's world history teacher, and welcome to Stratford Parent Night 2020. A little bit about me. This is my second year in Stratford, my seventh year in teaching in Houston overall. In addition to teaching world history, I am a Spartan time teacher for this year's freshman class, the class of 2024. I also coach football here at Stratford, and I am currently an assistant girls basketball coach. My schedule. On A days, I teach world history during periods 1 and 3, Spartan time after that, and then periods 5 and 7 are my athletic periods where I coach either JV and varsity football or freshman football. Period 7 can also serve as my conference period during the day. B days are much the same. Periods 2 and 4 I teach world history, Spartan time after that. Periods 6 and 8 are where I coach football and JV and freshman football, and my 8th period also serves as a conference period. Tutorial times. If your child is struggling in my class and needs extra help, my tutorial times are Mondays and Wednesdays from 7:15 and 7 to 7:45 in the morning, and I am usually here in my classroom before 7:15 anyway, so any other mornings that they need to either pop in or to meet via Zoom, they just need to let me know ahead of time so I can be prepared. The best way to get a hold of me is via email. My email address is there on the screen. It is charles.lear@springbrancisd.com. You can also message me through It's Learning, but email is by far the best. I have access to my email on my phone, and I respond usually very quickly. The syllabus. So in my class, we will cover the entirety of world history from 8000 BCE to almost the present. We usually stop at about World War I or at the end of World War I. And the purpose is for our students to develop a greater understanding of the evolution of global processes and contacts and interaction with different types of human societies or civilizations. We will highlight changes in international frameworks, causes and consequences, comparisons among major societies, and we'll also look at major events, development of major religions, and other cultural characteristics and technological changes, as well as global geography. The objectives are listed. We want our students to be able to construct and evaluate arguments and interpret and apply data and effectively analyze and evaluate points of view. And the one we spend the most time on is looking at the significance of key events in history, and the other one is identifying major discoveries and inventions and scientific achievements. And then the last one is to explain ideas and practices and historical developments of major belief systems. Course supplies in a normal year, we would look at everybody bringing in a 3-ring binder or kind of whatever suits their organizational skills the best, colored pencils, pens, highlighters, loose leaf paper, those kinds of things. This year, the expectation for our students is to have those items available, but also to make sure that they have a school-issued Chromebook, because so far, my class has been, the assignments and notes of my class have been entirely online and conducted electronically, and I plan to keep it that way. The textbook is online. It is titled the Discovery Ed Textbook World History. It is available through It's Learning. For specific reading assignments, I always provide a link to the specific pages that I want our students to read from, and a copy of the handout, graphic organizer, whatever it is that I want students to complete while they're reading that particular section of the online textbook. As a rule, I do not issue homework necessarily, but whatever students don't get completed in class, they are expected to take home and complete and then submit online before the beginning of next class. And students are expected to complete all of their assignments for class to be prepared for assessments, class discussions, those kinds of things, Grade breakdown. So the way we are breaking down the grades in this class is as follows. 45% of a student's grade will be made up of tests and major grades. And we include projects, essays, notebook checks, and that kind of thing. But most of this particular grade category will be made up through tests. 35% will be minor grades or daily grades, which are in-class assignments, ed puzzle, video assignments, vocabulary checks, reading checks, that stuff. And then the remaining 20% is made up through quizzes and minor projects. Again, this grade category will almost entirely be made up of quiz grades. Technology. I've mentioned this already. I'll mention it again. Students are expected to have a Chromebook, school-issued Chromebook. Students who are attending virtually, I have encouraged for those students to use their desktops at home if they have them because they're more powerful. But most definitely Chromebooks, laptops, MacBooks, those kinds of things are required for class. A reliable internet access is also expected, and that should allow the class to be conducted fairly smoothly. All assignments and all lesson plans are posted in It's Learning and are available at the beginning of that particular class day. For added learning, the website that is linked on the syllabus goes to my direct world history page, which I have been putting together over the course of the last year. Has everything that we do here in class, plus some extra info for students who are interested in that particular aspect of history. Expectations for class. I talk about 3 expectations in class, which kind of include everything that is listed here on the screen. My 3 expectations for class are to do your best, do what's right, and respect others. The list here in my syllabus is to listen carefully, show respect to themselves and others, exhibit manners and politeness, be in their assigned seats before the bell rings, have cell phones turned off and put away, arrive to class organized and prepared, and accept responsibility for their own actions. Those basic expectations are encompassed in the 3 big ones that I talk about. When students come to class, I expect them to put their cell phones in their backpacks and have their Chromebooks out and turned on and logged into It's Learning and clicked on to my welcome page every day. Tutorials I've talked about. My tutorial times are Mondays and Wednesdays from 7:15 to 7:45 and every other morning by appointment. If that doesn't work for students, if none of that stuff works for students, email me and we'll find a time, usually during Spartan time, to get together and address any confusion that might be about assignments or concepts or whatever it is. Test taking. No talking during the test, and that goes for everybody, whether they're at home or here in class. And if your student misses an exam, department makeups are on Wednesdays after the school day in room 327. Currently, those makeups are being conducted through Zoom meetings. So if a student misses an exam, they just need to reach out to me ahead of time so we can get that set up, right? Makeup work, it is your student's responsibility to make up assignments that they have missed. Again, all assignments have been posted in It's Learning and dated. So all your student needs to do is to go into It's Learning and go to the lesson plan for the day that they would have missed and work through that lesson plan for that particular day to get caught up on notes and assignments and video assignments and prepare for quizzes and tests and whatnot. All right, guys, so this is what my classroom looks like. As your students walk into class, this is what they would see. I don't know how much of this we can get here, right? So as they walk in, they come across and see, hopefully they would see this. This is a timeline that we show of all the civilizations that have come and gone throughout world history. A lot of students probably haven't paid attention to this, but we'll start talking about this a little bit as class goes on so we can make some connections between civilizations and world history. But what they would do is they would come over here they would find their desk. We do assigned seating here in world history. That is mostly for COVID protocols and so we can maintain space more than anything else, because my philosophy is that students can sit where they want to sit, generally speaking, as long as they can stay on track and stay focused and stay productive. But because this year is so unique and everything that we've got going on, we did assign seating for those purposes. And then as students would sit in their desks, they would get their Chromebooks out and put their phones away. And if they want to use writing utensils and pens and pencils and paper, they're more than welcome to. But then they all face forward the front of the classroom, and this is where PowerPoints are projected, when assignments are described and explained. So all students, whether they are virtual learners or in-class learners, can see what we're doing and understand what the expectations are for particular assignments and what we're looking for. And then as I kind of pan around the room, you can see some posters that I have up there. These on this particular wall are devoted to U.S. history, even though we don't teach U.S. history here and we don't really get to it at all except for our War for Independence and the Declaration of Independence, and making some connections with the ideas that were popular at the time. We don't really talk a lot about it until the U.S. entry in World War I. The students have 2 years of U.S. history, so we don't worry too much about that here in World. Then on the back wall, you guys will see there's a lot of posters and images of more European history stuff and some other famous photos from time. And then I get to sit here in the back corner where I guess all the bad kids sit, or at least the teacher does, to teach and answer questions and make sure everybody is taking care of what they're supposed to take care of for my class. Okay. Last thing I wanted to talk about, parents, is It's Learning. So my class is all of my content and assignments and notes and PowerPoints and videos and textbook readings and other readings are all located here within It's Learning. When your students, when your children navigate to my page, this is what they should see when they enter it. First things first, if there's an important announcement that I need to make, like for example, today is a PSAT day. So I left a note for the students that I would normally see today to make sure they took care of the assignments here within It's Learning and prepared for an exam that's coming up on the 9th and the 13th. And then to make sure that they all had school-issued Chromebooks, because we do require those for exams. You'll also see, guys, that all students will always have access to my syllabus, and that is for 2 purposes. So they know what the order of the class is going to look like, what the expectations are, and then if for some reason I would happen to make a mistake on grading, they could make sure that I got that fixed. You'll also see here as I scroll down that I post the assignments that will go into a progress report, or what is coming up here is the end of the first 9 weeks. And I try to do that with enough time for students to make sure that they have those assignments turned in. Because my schedule is so busy with football and girls basketball, I don't always have time at the very last minute to update grades. So I try to give our students plenty of time to make sure that they are on top of their grades. And if they have to retake an exam or retake a quiz, they know how to do that. We can get that set up so they can have the best possible chance for success in class. I've also included a link to the online textbook so students can go there if for some reason the direct link that I provided doesn't work. We also do Edpuzzle videos, and Edpuzzle codes are listed, as you can see. And then down here at the bottom is a link to my page, which I will probably move and make it a little bit more prevalent. So students can go to my page to have another view of some of the things that we've done. My course calendar, with all the lesson plans for the semester are posted there, so they can look ahead. Other added websites that I have found interesting are also posted there too, right? So that's there in its learning. As students go to my class, I always tell them to go navigate to the plans page. My page looks a little bit different than theirs, but today students should be working on Roman Empire stuff, right? So there's always a warm-up question. This is a review question, almost always a review question from the previous class, so we can make some connections to it. There's usually a PowerPoint with guided notes. I guess I got to post those. And then there will be some kind of assignment, right? There's a guided reading question and an exam that goes with it for this particular day. And then older assignments older plans are located below it, right? Those will always be active. And then previous units are also available through the end of the 9 weeks, right? So that is my class. Zoom links are always posted, so guys can go there if they need to. And that's all I have. If you guys have any questions for me, reach me by email or through It's Learning, and I'll be happy to answer them as soon as possible. Thank you.